Good day, podcast community. I'm Pete Kane, alias Podcast Pete. Thank you for being here. This is on our live events that create community, connection, and build your life, your speaking skills. It's all about scaling, it's all about growing 10x. And if you're interested in growing 10x and scaling your business, this strategy is for you. You're looking at podcaster connection. Why do we do this, and why is it important to you? Because speaking is the second biggest fear to death. So when you think of yourself and the fear it comes from speaking in front of people, you're either going to own that fear and master it and crush it, or it's going to own you. And if you're going to grow 10x, you're going to scale your business, you got to conquer your fears. The fear of speaking in public. So what we do, not only are we building community, not only are we connecting, but we're helping you master and crush the fear of speaking. Because if you master this, the world opens up to you, because now you're influencing one on many. Now you're opening up the world for talks, to associations, to groups, to different people that want good speakers. You're not born a good speaker. It's a skill that's developed. It's a absolute focus that you have to be a good communicator on the platform. What holds people back is they focus on themselves. How am I looking? Will I look like a fool? And when you focus on yourself, you lose the connection to your audience. If you focus on one person that you want to speak to, one person out there that you want to influence, that you want to communicate with, you take the light off of you and you put it on the person, the audience. And when you do that, you connect. So teaching that skill is a skill. Now, am I a good public speaker? No. Will I learn? Will I get better? Yes, because I'm going to put myself out there. I don't give a rip what anybody thinks about it. Now, part of that's having a stroke and you have a fearless mentality, or we call it mortality motivation. When you look death in the mirror, it changes you. And when it changes you, little things, little fears that might have controlled your behavior, they don't do it anymore. You get a second chance in life, you take advantage of it. And you don't care what somebody thinks about you. Now, you're still nice. You're still the kind of person you want to be, but you're not focused on what people think. And when you can go out there with that attitude, I'm going to deliver the best talk I can give, and you're going to connect with the audience, then you embrace that connection. You embrace that communication. You embrace learning to get better. It's just like lifting weights. It's reps. You can't wish good reps. You can't wish six-pack abs. You can't wish to be a good speaker. You got to take the reps. You got to get out there. The first talk you give, if you haven't given one in front of people, it's going to be your worst. But so was riding a bike the first time. You crashed. You skinned your knees. But if you had said, I can't ride a bike, then you never would have learned to ride a bike. But you got back on because you're a kid and you didn't realize that, hey, Fear is not going to slow you back. You're just going to get to learning how to ride that bike. The same with public speaking. You get up there, you make a fool of yourself, or you think you do, really. It's not that you do. People admire your courage. I watched it at the American Legion Wednesday night, Thursday, one of these nights. I watched Phil. No, I didn't. I missed him because I got caught in traffic. But I watched how people reacted with him towards the end. I watched how the band singled him out. What would they single him out? When I asked him how he did, of course, everybody goes that way. I could have done better, or I don't know what exactly he said, but it was basically somebody that expects more, but he got up there and did it. When they asked him about that months ago, he said yes. He could have let fear hold him back and said, that's not me. And I see it on podcasting. When somebody says something like, that's not me, or that's not something I want to do, it's basically saying, I'm scared. I'm scared to put myself out there. I'm scared that if I say the wrong thing, people will know it. Who gives a rip? Just speak from your heart. No, you do give a rip. That's why you stop from going on a podcast. That's why, because I've asked hundreds of people over the last couple of years. And I just sit back. I mean, there's not much I can do until that fear becomes smaller. I mean, I can encourage, but somebody that's fearful, they're not going to do it. You have to conquer your fear. You have to put yourself out there. Even with somebody encourage you, and I've had some people that have not mastered it, that have done it. First, they're fearful, then they do it. Then all of a sudden they're on the way, because the next time they're going to get better, they're going to get better, and they're going to get better. And that's the same in anything you do. The first podcast you do. I mean, I was forgetting people to put people on. We were doing foursomes in golf, and I was forgetting. People say, Pete, you forgot to ask Joe to come on. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea. I just, hey, look. When my partner said, hey, you like golf, why don't you do golf podcasting? I said, well, I do like golf. I don't mind talking. I actually like so much better the communication of talking versus written, because growing up dyslexic and ADD, it's kind of a weird combination. I'd misspell every other word. Now, when you're sending email communication out there and you're misspelling word after word after word, what do people do? They don't know that you have dyslexia. They don't know that you have that mindset of an active brain. All they know is they see the outcome of it. And most people are going, what the heck? How can you misspell this word, this word, this word, this word? It looks like somebody's in 6th grade and they can't spell. Well, when you form a mindset of that, it formulates your behavior. And so getting back to speaking and the live events, what we're doing in our community is giving reps to speakers, to podcasters, because you got to get reps. The more reps, they're 5-minute talks. So they're 5 minutes of your expertise. Once you do one, you do another, and you do another, and you do another, and you do another, and you get better, and you get better, and you get better. And then when you keep getting better, you keep developing yourself. The world opens up for you to have talks, to you to influence, for you to put yourself in a position where you can influence one on many. Because podcast is one on many, speaking is one on many, connecting to the group in that intimate environment, people are able to see how vulnerable people are. They appreciate people stepping up and doing it. They appreciate you communicating. They see your development. That's why we get together on a regular basis. It's so important to do the reps. It's so important. If you don't want to grow and scale your business, you don't have to learn public speaking, platform speaking, because you can just grow 2x. You can have a lifestyle of which it's a whole lot harder to grow 10x or 2x than 10x. Because when you have the mindset of 10x, you're conquering fears. You're learning things. You're learning systems. You're learning overcoming fears like public speaking. You have to learn how to connect. You have to learn how to build relationships. You have to learn how to do things that a person that just wants to grow a little bit will never do. And if you're not growing, that's why you're on the Personal Development Podcast. If you're not growing as a person, well, you're growing, barely getting by. And we're in the most transformable time of our lifetime. Now I'm 67, so I've been around for a few years, so I've seen cycles, and I have been able to study for the last 3 years intensely, like 15 hours a day, 6.5 days a week. No TV, no social life, nothing but digesting, learning, personal development, listening to thousands and thousands and thousands of podcasts to get better. Now it's implementing. We have our system built. Let me just give you something here, because it's going to be fun to see you grow. Okay, we want to give you a masterclass. Go to petekane.me/masterclass. We'll get that free. You don't even have to give us your name and email. Now, you want to see the first step of our ecosystem? Go to take an assessment, because I got to know where you are. Everybody starts at different places. Now, we love podcasters because they're influencers. Our ecosystem is built for podcasters. Now, one of our avatars is podcasters who want to grow and scale their business. Or entrepreneurs. 2, nonprofits who want to grow and scale their business for greater impact on the community. The best way to do is through podcasting. And last is our corporate professionals. If you're a corporate professional and you're thinking, man, when I retire, when I finish my 30 years, when I start looking at my next chapter, what am I going to do? Maybe podcasting. Maybe our community. Maybe something is going to challenge you like you've never been challenged before. Because the life of an entrepreneur is not easy. You got to look in the mirror every day and say, how am I going to create value? When you're working for somebody, it's like the government. I just saw something like, it's been 3 years and most of the people have not come back to the office. They're like traveling, doing all kinds of things because they can get away with it. That doesn't work as an entrepreneur. You can't just decide to do whatever you want and do nothing. That's called bankruptcy. And the market will expose you when you have that kind of mindset. Shame on people abusing the taxpayer money. That's a mindset of, I don't know what kind of mindset, but it's not a good one. Mindset of caring, giving, mindset of being the best you can possibly be is not that kind of mindset. Well, there's a new sheriff in town. The new sheriff is going to give us more value for our dollar. Are there people bucking it? Sure, always, when you make these major changes. But I want to go back to my corporate professional. if you want to be an entrepreneur, you have good communication skills, and you want to exercise and test it in the marketplace, take the assessment and then select the third avatar on our page. That way it'll be corporate professional. So the 18th, if you're listening to this after the 18th of January, just go on to pkane.me/live. There'll always be an Eventbrite. There'll always be a schedule of our live events that happen in Kennesaw, Georgia, at Grace Church, right by the mall, Town Center Mall. So if you're local and you understand Town Center Mall, right by the mall. That's where I go, and it's a wonderful church. But we do it Saturday morning from 10 to 11:30. 5-minute talks, 10 the first hour, 5 the second half hour. So 15 people. We stream it, we edit it, we create content, and I connect you, and we want to build community. Everybody encouraging each other, everybody being there for each other, and you taking the reps. The reps are speaking. The more you speak, the better you get. The more you put yourself out there and conquer your fears, the better you're going to be. The better entrepreneur you're going to be. The better person you're going to create value in the marketplace. So go to pkane.me, take the assessment. Here's our free masterclass, pkane.me/masterclass. And let me see. Oh yeah, I should do this. Our magazine, Kennesaw Happenings, is our first major magazine here in the U.S. So we're going to establish 100 next year. So if you're a leader and you're listening to this and you're like in another city, another town, and you're interested in accelerated growth, you're interested in checking us out, first take the assessment, get on a podcast, try out our masterclass, understand our ecosystem. Then, if you want to be the leader in your market, go to pkane.me/magazine and select one in your area. I mean, we don't have all the areas down there, but what we do is when we have interest buying signal, people prepay. That tells me you're interested. Not that you like the idea, but you're interested. Then we know once we have a magazine full of 20 stories, 20 people that are going to support another area, whether it's a shopping center, whether it's a city, whether it's a niche of your community. It's many communities inside of a bigger community. People that want to take podcasting, people want to grow by 10x, want to scale their business. We give them the resources to do that. We're coming into the most exciting time in our lifetime. And you could be part of a wonder what happened or be a part of the trend. I want you in the second part because you don't want to be regretting that you were fearful of making a decision to move forward, to aggressively move forward in the new AI, it's a perfect storm of opportunity. And I hope you are a part of it. If I'm talking to you, which I want to, join. Take the assessment. Go take that assessment. That's our first step. Can't just join, and you have to go through our ecosystem so you can understand it. And so we appreciate you. If this is something that you think somebody else, a friend, somebody talks about podcasting, talks about growing their business by 10x, talks You can tell when people are talking this language. Please share this with them. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time and have a, let me see, this is my new: be bold, make an impact, and have fun. Be bold, make an impact, and have fun.